Any of you remember that old movie Burt Reynolds was in and Dom DeLuise called The End? Remember that? I don't remember I remember one scene especially well in that movie. Or apparently Burt Reynolds, didn't he try to hire Dom DeLuise to kill him? Yeah, I don't know why, but anyway, he did. It was a great comedy. Well, at one point, Burt Reynolds, he decides he's going to commit suicide, so he swims out into the ocean. And he's a long ways away from shore. And then he has this epiphany, he wants to live. And so he starts to swim back to shore. And he begins this bargaining with God. Right? God, if you let me make the shore, I'll give you everything I have. Gets a little closer. He's like, God, give me to that shore and I'll give you 90% of everything I have. And it just continues to go down further and further and further. The closer he got to being safe, the less God got. I just couldn't help but think about that because there's such a draw to the things of this world, right? Like we really, really turn to God when things look really bad. When we really, really need God, that's, what was the saying for soldiers? There's no atheists in a foxhole, right? When things are bad, that's when we turn to God. But then, the further we get away from that foxhole, the more the allure of the things of this world can take over. So that's where I believe we're invited this weekend to get in touch for ourselves, to do that work, to look at where are the things of this world trying to pull us in. Did I ever tell you about the story how I first I got that Harley-Davidson motorcycle? Did I tell you about that? It was a gift. That's right, it was a gift. There were 3 couples from Columbus, Nebraska that bought me this gift, and they had it delivered to me. And I was pretty much in shock. Okay, they were present when it was delivered, and anyway, they eventually left. The person that delivered the motorcycle left, and before I went to bed, I went and I sat on this brand new, shiny, filled with chrome, 100th anniversary Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And I got a really ugly feeling. I felt that motorcycle pulling me in. As I sat on it, there was something that was pulling me into it. So I got off. I went to my prayer room in the rectory in Duncan, Nebraska. And I said, okay, God, I don't know what that was, but that was not a good feeling. Help me understand what I'm supposed to do with this. So I went to one of the donors the next day, and I told him what happened. I was in a prayer group with this guy. And so we were used to sharing on very deep levels. And I told him I had this feeling. And I said it was not a comfortable, attractive feeling. And he said to me, he goes, Father Dave, I intended this gift to be something that gives you enjoyment, relaxation, some joy maybe, that you can better serve the people of God. If this in any way gets in the way of you doing that and takes away from you doing that, I'll be forever sorry that I had anything to do with this. So it's a gift with no strings attached. You can sell it, you can give it away, you can take it to the dump and just let it there. I don't care what you do with it. But it's what happens to you is what I care about. Just try to remember this. It's only a piece of twisted metal with some shiny stuff on it. And so I prayed about it. I prayed about it again, and I prayed that God would give me the grace that thing doesn't own me, but it's just an object that can bring me some joy and some relaxation, and I can keep it in the proper perspective. So that's what I did. The first time I think I told you guys this story, I said, you want to hear the rest of the story? Right? I took it back to the dealer 15 years later and traded it in for the current Indian motorcycle that I have now. So it is important for us to be aware of where the stuff in our life is pulling on us, where the desire for comfort, the desire for the material things of this world, okay, where is it in relationship to what we're ultimately striving for, which is heaven, right? It can really, really get in the way. The young man or the person said, tell my brother to give me my inheritance, right? And Jesus was, obviously, he knew the person's heart. He knows all of our hearts. He obviously didn't want to get involved. It wasn't a justice issue, obviously. Sometimes it can be a justice issue, but in this particular case, it wasn't a justice issue, was it? It was greed. So he went on to politely, he didn't name it, right? But he tells a story to get us to think. And so I think we're all being invited gently by our God. He gives us free will. We all have that ability to be sucked in, to want, we think what is fair and just, but really maybe greed is at work. And so we have to be aware of that. And then pray that we can surrender, that we can just go ahead and put God first, and then recognize that the beauty of all things in this world only has beauty in relationship to God, right? Shiny stuff without God in our life, personally, I think, who cares about the shiny stuff if it isn't in relationship with God created that shiny thing after all, then we're really being pulled away. And so I just invite us all to go into our own lives, into where we need to look and see, where is God calling us to have a proper perspective on the things of this world in relationship to the everlasting kingdom he desires us to be with him for all eternity.